Howdy, howdy, this is Crafty Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I'm going to cover round 1 results for the Hela and Gamora arenas and then jump into some round 2 predictions. So, first for the results. So, Hela, we've got a new 4-star feature all-time high cutoff for the first round with Hela coming in at 19.5. She replaced Blade, who recently set the cutoff at 19.2 million. That has now been replaced with Hela at 19.5 million. Probably just as interesting is the top 10% that tier shard that's gone up to 4.9 million. That continues to steadily increase ever since Valor was introduced in the month of November. So people keep on that race for Valor continues to push up that top 10%, and also the case for the top 11% tier shard is that's went to 2.5 million again. Now that has a kind of an up and down fluctuation. It doesn't have that steady increase that I've seen for the top 10%, but it's pretty crystal clear when it comes to the 4-star feature tier shards. They keep on staying quite high and for the 10% even higher because of those because of the additional valor points added. Now when we look at the 4-star basic Gamora arena there in the middle, you can see her results came in right where we expected at 2.16 million with 11 to 25% at 1.5 million. Nothing shocking there, like I was saying, pretty much as expected for a low interest 4-star basic arena. And then when we jump over to the 3-star feature over on the right for Hela, this one was a little bit interesting as we've seen for the second time now for the first round cutoff. The numbers go from the 1.5 million area that they had been with Mephisto and that crew, that whole area there, Morningstar, etc., and even Blade. But now we're going with starting with Thor Ragnarok. Both he and now Hela have come in into the 1.3 million range. Hopefully it stays there because we are talking 3 stars here. I just wonder if the Valor impact is taking people away and doing some grinding in those other arenas versus what we've typically seen in the past for the 3-star feature. But anyway, these are the results. So when I take a quick comparison at the 4-star feature and 3-star feature community poll questions I posted before the arenas, based off of the community response, they were a little off when it came to the 4-star feature. The community feels like it was 18 to 19 million, which was about a 500,000 above that. So kind of thinking that she would land more into that Morningstar range. And then whereas the 30% though did feel that she would set she would go 19 million, get into that Blade range. When it comes to the 3-star feature, though, a lot of folks thought that they would use people would use the 3-star feature arena to get her, and that would drive them up so people could actually have a Hela character to play. Whereas it was, as we've seen, it was closer to that 17% group that thought she would be from 1.35 to 1.45 million. Congrats, by the way, to Muhammad, who has specifically called it out since nobody knows how this whole Loki synergy fiasco will end. It's safe to assume that Hela will be the next all-time champ. Now, he did say 20 million, but at least he did set the fact that she would be the new all high time champ. So congratulations, Muhammad, on that prediction because that definitely did come true. Not 20 million, but she is now the new all-time high first round cutoff champ. So what does this all in specific in terms of the predictions? Good news is when it comes to the 4-star feature on the right hand or on the left hand side, it's within 10%. The bad news though, it's below what the actual cutoff is. So even though it's within that 10% range, because if you just played to the predictions, didn't go up to a grind target, a safe buffer, you didn't get the champ. And after putting in 18.5 million, that's pretty bad news on that one. The good news though, when it comes to the 4-star basic, that was right where we kind of expected within that 10% range. And even though the prediction, I didn't go completely with the community's 1.55 million on that one. I just felt that that was too high with Hela, especially over what we saw with Thor Ragnarok. So I went closer to that 1.45 to 1.55 range. So just right around 10%, a little bit above. So since I always kind of like to tend on the high side with my predictions, this is kind of what I'm always looking for. Would have liked a little bit closer, like under 1.5 million, but I was thinking you never know, that might go to that range. But for the most part, it's right around that 10% range. Plus, people playing to the prediction did get the champ. So all in all, a decent prediction. So what does this mean for round 2? When we start off with a 4-star feature, we can look at some of the recent new champ arenas in the 4-star feature. You can see Morningstar, she had a big drop from 17 to 11 million. Blade, he hung right around, and what's interesting, this was set the all-time cutoff high before, right? The previous all-time high stayed right around the same way between first round and second round. And then we can see with Thor Ragnarok, he dropped from 17 million to 15 million, so there was a drop. Hell is going to be an interesting arena, just because we got to expect a nerf is incoming from Kabam because there's been a lot of bugs with Hela. There's been a lot of videos out there showing like it just feels like there's uncapped synergy bonuses with different characters and just the power she can do in like different parts of the game, in-game content at that matter. It feels like there's a nerf incoming. There's no way they're going to keep her in their current state. But for the time being, until those changes come, she's going to be a souped-up character that can help, folks get through stuff. So I don't know if that's going to make folks want to get her quickly here in that second round, or just ignore her because they know the nerf is incoming. So I have my thoughts on that, and I'll share that in the prediction, because if it's going to be like people are going to go after her, she'll be more like Blade. If not, she'll drop probably like a Morningstar or Thor Ragnarok kind of thing. Now, when it comes to the 4-star feature, or sorry, the 4-star basic Gamora arena, you can see there's some fluctuation. Groot, his second round was lower than his first round. Same thing with Drax, but then with Rocket Raccoon, his first round was lower than his second round. So there's some fluctuation between the 4-star basic low interest champs. When it comes to the 11 to 25% tier, you can see that there's a slight fluctuation, but a general increase over time of these last couple arenas, to where now it's steadily either at 1.6 million or around 1.65 million. And lastly, when we look at the 3-star feature arena here on the right, you can see there's just been a steady decline since Morningstar, where first round, then even like when you go from the first round from Morningstar to Blade, there's a decrease and a bigger drop with Thor. But in all instances, the first round is definitely higher than the second round. I think we're going to see that trend continue. So when it comes to my round two predictions, you can see I think Hela is going to be similar to Blade, where his first round and second round cutoffs were very similar. Unlike Morningstar and Thor Ragnarok, there was that drop. If anything, it'll probably be a Thor Ragnarok drop, probably into the 18 million range. I don't think there'll be a plummet drop, unless, of course, they drop it. Now, if Kabam over the next couple days drops, hey, there's this big nerf incoming, and there's some big changes coming to the synergies and everything like that, then I think she will probably fall off like a Thor Ragnarok. So from 19.2 to probably like I think her cutoff in the first round again was 19.5. I think it'll go to like in the 17 millions range. So keep your eye on that to see if that change is coming with that nerf or changing of the synergies basically. But if she stays as is, she'll be around that 19 million again, right around her first round cutoff. But if there are changes coming, Kabam announces those, I think she'll drop down into the 17 million range. But for the purpose of the video, we'll leave it at 19.2. With the top 10%, again, I think we've seen the steady incline for that shard tier given the additional valor. It's been steadily going like 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, even 4.9 this last time. So I think it's going to go to 5 million here, with 11% tier right around 2.4 to 2.5 million. And then when we look at the 4-star basic arena in the middle, I think Gamora will be going for 2.3 million. You saw with Groot and with Drax, there was a drop. With Rocket Raccoon, I think he went up a little bit. I think for the most part with Gamora, because she still has some utility in the game, I do think she'll be right around. I mean, she was a 2.16, 2.2 million. I think it'll be around that 2.2, 2.3. I like to tend to the higher side of potential trends, just in case you play to these predictions, and you'll make sure you get the champ. So that's why I'm saying 2.3, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's more like 2.15 again, or 2.2 kind of thing, with 11 to 25% coming in at 1.7 million. Then I do think when we look at the 3-star feature Hela, there will be a drop similar to what we saw with Thor. She'll go from that 1.3 down to 1.15 million, maybe even closer to 1.1 million, with 11 to 25% going to 650,000. So in terms of now, again, these are the predictions based off of these trends that we've seen. If you want to safely grind to a number that should get you, that has a really higher probability, of course, of getting the champion, then here are the numbers. I'm saying 19.5 again with Hela for the 4-star feature on the left here. keep in mind if Kabam announces any significant changes or they're capping some of the synergies or whatever. If you see the nerf is incoming, expect these numbers to drop down a couple million. With the top 10%, if you want to safely get that, I would go over that 5 million. I think people were already getting close to that 5 million number for that 10% shard tier. So just safely go over a couple 100,000 to make sure you're one of the folks who get it. And then with that 11% tier, I'd go to about 2.6, just in case, again, folks play to that 2.5 million but milestone reward. Then if you go over 100,000 or so, then you should be safe. When you look at that 4-star basic, again, 2.3 already. The prediction has a little buffer built in my opinion, but 2.5 will be plenty if you want to make sure you get the dupe or you didn't get a chance to get it the first time. And then with that limited 25%, 1.9 million. And then lastly, that 3-star feature, Hela. I think we regularly see these numbers drop, so I think 1.2 should have plenty of buffer. 1.2 million should have plenty of buffer with that 11 to 25%, around 700,000. And again, these grind targets as well as these predictions are for the veteran bracket, meaning your account has been open for 61 days plus. Not how long you play, but how long you've set up this account. If you're newer in the game, though, the beginner bracket, here's some numbers. These are just general ranges, though, as I always like to say, because there's not a lot of data to run any trend analysis against. So for the beginners bracket, your account's been open 1 to 30 days. Look for the 3-star feature coming around 245,000, with the 4-star basic around 1 million, and the 4-star feature around 1 million plus. The intermediate bracket, so your account's been open for 31 to 60 days. 3-star feature coming around 650,000. And then for the 4-star basic around 1.4 million. The 4-star feature around 1.2. Again, these are just general ranges, much more general than the predictions and the grind targets. There's not a lot of historical data behind these numbers, so just if you really want them, these are the numbers you should kind of play to, and then definitely put in some more buffer if you've got the time and the roster to go for it if you really want these champions, because again, these are just some rough numbers to play against. These are my thoughts, though, for second round of the Hela and Gamora arenas. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comment section. We can talk about them there. If you have any difference of opinions, I'd love to hear about it as well, and why you feel that way too. Because it's easier just to say no. I think Hela's gonna be 15 million without no reasons. Let's throw the reasons why you're thinking about it there in the comment. We can talk about them there. But other than that, if you like this video, I'd really appreciate you clicking that thumbs up button. And if you like this video and others that I have in the channel, would really appreciate a subscribe. Other than that, thanks a lot for stopping by and have a great day.